Welcome back to my kitchen. Y'all, these are my chopped and toasted pecans that I'm just taking out of the oven. You guys, when you're baking or when you're cooking and you're using pecans or nuts, y'all toast your pecans. It brings out the nuttiness and so much more flavor in your pecans. It makes a world of difference, in my opinion. So y'all toast your pecans or whatever kind of nuts you're using, okay? So this is 1 cup of pecans that have been lightly toasted, and this time I just put them in the oven as I was preheating. I'm going to cook this brown sugar toffee pound cake. I'm cooking it or baking it on 325 degrees. I just put my pecans in there this time while the oven was preheating, and they took maybe about 7 or 8 minutes or so. A lot of times I will just put it on 400 and put them in for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. The thing is, you just want to keep an eye on them so that you will not scorch them, okay? So, but if you're cooking at a higher temperature or toasting them at a higher temperature, it'll only take just a few minutes. But like I say, make sure you keep your eyes on them so they won't scorch. But look, this brown sugar toffee pound cake, I'm here for it, all right? We'll be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm peeping at my notes. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and to this flour I have added a teaspoon of baking powder and a ½ teaspoon of salt. Once I added those 2 ingredients with the all-purpose flour, I sifted it 1 time, okay? Flour, baking powder, salt, already in here. Then I have 2 cups of light brown sugar and 1 cup of regular granulated sugar. I didn't pack the brown sugar, I just kind of, you know, put it in there. If you have a recipe and it causes, it instructs you to pack the sugar, that's when you would pack it down. But I didn't do that, okay? 2 cups of brown sugar, 1 cup of regular sugar. I have 5 large eggs here, and they are room temperature that I've already cracked. I have 3 sticks of unsalted butter, and they are also room temperature. Then I have 1 cup of regular milk. I use 2% milk. 1 cup of whole milk is fine. We just drink the 2% milk. I don't buy special milk for baking my cakes. So this is 2% whole milk, is perfectly fine. Let's see. I have 8 ounces of English toffee bits. 8 ounces. And I'm using the Heath English toffee bits. You guys, I forgot how good toffee tastes. Yes, I did taste a few of them. I forgot how good they were. Have my 1 cup of toasted pecans. I think that's everything. Oven is preheating or preheated to 325 degrees. And I think with the glaze, I'm probably going to do maybe like a brown sugar glaze. I think that's what I'm going to do. Where I'll be using some brown sugar, some sweetened condensed milk, and some butter and some salt. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do with the drizzle. Alright, is that everything? As always, the ingredients are listed in the description box below the video, okay? Just in case I have forgotten something. I think that's it. In the meantime, in between time, I have thoroughly washed my hands. Don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands, because that's just nasty. Oh, and I did forget to mention that I'm going to be using some pure vanilla extract. And I'm going to be adding that in just a minute. And what I'm doing now, I'm going to, my 3 sticks of room temperature unsalted butter. I'm adding to my mixing bowl. And then I'll be adding my extract right now as well. And what that does is adding my extract, my vanilla extract, this early in the mixing process. This is mixed during the entire mixing process as opposed to just at the end, probably about a tablespoon or more, as opposed to just adding it at the end. So that vanilla extract is going to be mixed during the entire mixing process. All right. What I'm going to do is when I turn the mixer on, I'm going to turn it on and let it run for a few seconds to mix up the butter and the extracts. And then I'm going to slowly add my 3 cups of sugar. Once I get all of the sugar added, I'm going to cream this butter and sugar for like 10 minutes. I usually set me a timer. I set my timer on my microwave for 10 minutes. And then I cream. Now during this process, I usually have this mixture set on high, which is about 8.5. I'll have to stop at least twice to scrape down the sides of the bowl, because what you'll notice is that a lot of that butter and sugar is going to start accumulating on the sides of your bowl, which means if it's up here, then it's not getting properly creamed. It needs to be down inside your mixing bowl. So I'll stop at least twice, scrape down my bowl, and then continue to cream. You can't rush this process because it certainly affects the outcome of your cake. This is very important to properly cream. You don't want to hear those sugar crystals mixing around in the bottom of your mixing bowl, okay? So if you don't properly cream, it can cause your cake to be dense, extra dense. It can cause it to fall. It can cause it to be gummy if you don't properly cream. You know how you bake a cake and you see those gummy looking streaks inside of your cake? Okay, so make sure you take the time to properly cream. Now once I get through creaming, the creaming today is going to look a little different because I'm using that brown sugar as opposed to just all white sugar, but it still should have a fluffiness about it. Now once I'm done creaming, I'm going to stop the mixer and I'm going to come back and let you see exactly what light and fluffy should look like. Okay, so let's start mixing up this butter and then we'll start adding our sugar. Ten minutes later, we're light and fluffy. Okay, you see how fluffy that looks? That's what you should be looking like. Now it's time to start adding our eggs, and I'm going to add my 5 eggs. I'll add them one at a time. I'll mix just a few seconds, just long enough for the yolk to separate, the yolk to break up and kind of disappear. It may take about 6 or 7 seconds in between each egg. Now once I get through adding the eggs, then it's time to start alternating the flour, adding the flour and the milk. And we're going to alternate. You always want to start with your dry ingredients, which is your flour. Start with your dry, and you want to end with your dry. So you'll see me add a little bit of flour. I'll mix just a few seconds, and then I'll start adding a little bit of my milk. Now, once I get done adding the eggs, you're going to notice that I'm going to turn this mixer down. I'll turn it down to low. So I usually have this mixer set on about number 2. You want to mix your flour and your milk on low. Now this is the time that you can overmix. You do not want to overmix. We're not trying to get this batter silky smooth. Add some flour, mix for a few seconds, and then you'll see how long I wait before I add the milk. The same outcome can apply. If you overmix, you can cause your cake to fall. It can be extra dense, it can be gummy. Again, you don't want any of the above, okay? So make sure you don't overmix. Now, I'm not going to mix as long as I normally would because I'm still going to have to add my toffee and my roasted pecans. So I'm going to finish mixing by hand. So this part won't take me long at all to do once I start alternating that flour and milk, okay? So just remember, don't overmix. So once I get through adding that last little bit of flour, then I'm going to stop the mixer and I'm going to finish hand mixing so I can add my extra ingredients. Alright, in the meantime, I have thoroughly sprayed my cake pan with Baker's Joy. And I'm going to put my toffee and pecans in here. Kind of mix them up a little bit. Add my pecans and my toffee bits, and just kind of fold them in. I meant to put a little bit of batter in first before I started adding my toffee bits and pecans, so that's why I'm trying to kind of get some of this batter that has it mixed in really good. Sometimes I think they still kind of stick sometimes. Okay. All right. And this is why I wanted to stop and not, finish mixing by hand, because I'm having to continue to manipulate this batter after adding the pecans and the toffee bits. So now we want to try to get the batter as level and even as possible, so we won't have a lopsided cake. Our oven is ready. Hit it under the bottom to release air bubbles. Hopefully it won't cause my toffee bits and pecans to sink too much, but in any event. All right, we're going in the oven, 325. I bake my cakes in the middle of my oven. So what I do is I take one of my racks and I adjust it to where it's in the middle of the oven, and that's where I bake. 325. I'm going to set my timer for an hour and 15 minutes. It will probably take longer than that. Let me do an hour and 20. I'll let you know exactly how long it baked though once I take it out. Okay, we baked about an hour and 25 minutes, but the time will vary depending on your oven. Now I'm going to, well, we have to cool. I'm going to let it cool about 10 minutes before I flip it. In the meantime, I'm getting ready to fix my drizzle for the top. I'm going to use this 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. I have thoroughly cleaned off the top of this can. I have washed it off. You all make sure you wash off the top of these cans. I oftentimes tell you that they are nasty. They've been all on these tractor trailer trucks, in the grocery stores, in the warehouses, and people's nasty hands have been all over the top of these cans. I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. Lies you tell. A pinch of salt, just a pinch. Their nasty hands have been all over these cans, so you guys, and little rodents and insects and bugs and stuff been licking all over the, y'all wash them cans off. Ooh, wash them off. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my burner on medium high. I'm gonna add this 1 cup of brown sugar. And we want this to come to a boil. And what I need to do is whisk it, whisk it, whisk it. While it's heating up, okay? And we're gonna whisk it and continue to whisk it, and once it gets hot and starts boiling, we're gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it off, take it off the burner, add about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then we'll be adding our vanilla extract as well. Okay, we are boiling, so we're going to turn this down on low. And keep stirring. I think I'm going to turn that heat off. It's really hot. In the meantime, let me get that off the heat. Let's flip this cake. Lady, you might want to get your pot holder before you go lifting that hot cake. Oh, let's hear a thump. Heard a thump. Okay, let's stir this a little more. Okay. Ooh. Oh. So we stuck a little bit. That's where those what you call it? That toffee. The toffee stuck just a little bit. That's why I said I meant to add some of the batter down in there first. It may or may not have prevented some of that, but in any event, it is fine. We're just going to add that back to the cake. The cake will have some texture too, because I'm going to put some of my toffee bits on the top of it. Okay. So that's what the pan is looking like. So we'll let this sit. Ooh, child. Now I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of butter. And my pure vanilla extract. About a teaspoon or 2. And we're just going to whisk this in. Until it's all thoroughly mixed together. Now, I'm supposed to add this while it's hot, but I want to let it cool just a few minutes to kind of thicken up just a little bit before I add it to the cake. Ooh, y'all, this cake smells so good. So this is how I kind of let my drizzle thicken up a little bit. By letting it cool. So I'll let it cool for about 15-20 minutes or so. Brown sugar toffee pound cake. Ooh, it smells so good. It is time. Hoo-wee.
Let me ask you, this look too little boyish. I'm just saying.
I had to watch you because you be doing all the
I ain't gonna do nothing I don't have no business
you
doing.
do all the extra stuff behind my back and I don't see it until I get ready, till I'm editing it.
Babe, I'm telling you, everything.
I have to watch you.
Everything is on the up and up with me.
Today?
Yeah, as always. It's always on the up and up. What you making? What's this?
Y'all look at the top of it. Look at all that.
What is it?
It's a cake.
I don't smell. The nose can tell you a lot. Let me smell.
The nose can tell you a lot.
It's telling me it's
Telling you it's a cake.
it smells like it's good. I'm gonna try it. I was told to say my grace.
You said. You said.
I don't use that little fancy spoon. Fork.
You.
Give me my regular fork. I don't use that fancy fork because I don't want it
Let me
anyway.
taste it. I asked you to get my part of the taste.
I want you to, there you go. It'll all taste the same way.
That was a lot of the glaze. They didn't have a whole lot of cake. Tell me what you tasting. Back up a little bit. While he doing that, let me do this. Y'all look good. Look at the inside. Wait a minute.
Well,
Well. Ooh.
it's good. Really good. Moist. Very moist.
Very moist. What are you tasting?
Cake.
You tasting cake. This
I definitely have nuts.
Okay. What kind of nuts?
Pecans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Is it brown sugar?
Please. Yes.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Cinnamon?
No.
No cinnamon? Cinnamon. I'm not cinnamon. That's the brown sugar, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's a brown sugar. It's a brown sugar toffee pound cake. So you're tasting the little pieces of English toffee.
Oh. What's toffee?
seems like, was there a candy bar?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What is toffee? Because, yeah.
The heat.
That's it. That's toffee. Breaks up as you break it up.
Y'all, this is good. I was waiting on him to say, seems like you need to have some coffee with it, like you drink coffee. I guess anything that has that, I guess with the pecans and the brown sugar. But y'all.
You coconut in here? No. It has a chewy crust. I like that. I really like the chewy
And that's
crust.
with that brown, because there's brown sugar in the cake. There's also brown sugar in the glaze. The glaze is made with brown sugar and that sweetened condensed milk. So it's kind of a little, and I think with the toffee bits, with the English toffee, I think it kind of gives it maybe a little chewiness to it, a little bit.
It's good.
Because most of them, I think, kind of sank. You know, most of them kind of sank down where you see they're right up under. Let me see. They're right up under the crust. So that makes it a little chewy.
What's under the crust?
The toffee bits, they sank down. You see them up here? So that's what's close to the crust. So between that and the brown sugar and making it chewy.
This is good. It really is.
It's different. Make sure, y'all, it does. It really brings out the nuttiness in those pecans. When you roast them or toast them, whichever you want to say, don't skip that part. It does make, and it only takes a few minutes, but makes a huge difference in the taste of the pecans.
And also, guys, be mindful. I know Chef's saying this, but I want to reiterate. If you have a nut allergen, please be mindful.
You have a nut allergy, you better not be eating it.
That's what I'm saying. Be mindful, to anyone else that you may want to, if you venture out to try this, to offer it to someone. It is good. I know it is good.
Yeah, I didn't get that one because you gave me that little. That's good.
It's good.
And for whoever wants to say something, yes, I did just lick my fingers. It's amazing what some of y'all say. I did.
You licked your fingers. Don't touch me.
I did. How about that?
Wait, what you doing?
All right, so.
What's wrong with licking your fingers? You ate a piece of cake?
Yeah. You'd be surprised. Some people try to make something out of nothing. You know. I know, right? Some people try to make something out of nothing because I lick my fingers. Listen, they lick. And you eating with your fingers. You so serious. I'm serious. That's the way some people do. They make something, try to make something out of nothing. I'd be like, bless y'all's heart.
I just gave you a book to make something out of it.
So,
look. Well,
that's the part I want right there. I ain't eat the whole thing. Look at you. Anyway, y'all, listen. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, please consider doing so.
Hit the notice.
That's turning on that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we're doing whatever it is we're doing, eating cake, licking our fingers, or whatever. That's all right. We wash our nasty hands before we get started.
Wash our nasty hands when we finish.
And depending on what I'm doing in the process, when I need to wash them again while I'm baking, I keep on washing them. But right now I'm licking my fingers, okay? Oh, you're gonna lick the salsa. You a mess. All right, you guys. Well, that's another one for the books. This brown sugar toffee pound cake. So I guess we'll cut this. Well, you'll cut it up so you can take it to work with you. Y'all, they so greedy. He took all that lasagna to work.
Boy, did they have a field day. They went
Some
in.
of his co-workers enjoyed lasagna. We can't eat all that food.
They look like lumberjacks over there eating that.
I'm just glad they enjoy it and eat it. So anyway, all right, you guys. I think I already said. Did I say thank you guys so much for watching? We already look forward to you joining us again next time.